They told a whole generation that the path to success was paved with a 4-year degree and a mountain of debt, and forgot to mention the folks who actually run the world, who are out there turning wrenches, digging trenches, and making sure that the world has its finer comforts of clean water and cold air coming out of vents where it should. And I want to highlight that because here's the reality, guys. If you're watching this video, you're considering a move into the trades, meaning HVAC, plumbing, electrical, garage door, and the like. There's a litany of them out there that will happily take anybody who's willing to work. And I don't think that there's been enough of a spotlight pointed on the folks who make the world run and make the world do what it does, and how many positions there are in the trades. As I sit here and stare at my marketing director, or look down the hallway and see our financial controller, or look down the other hallway and see our sales team, there are so many positions in the trades that, one, are deserving of highlighting, and two, don't require a 4-year degree and a mountain of debt to get into. So I want to break down the path that you could find success in the trades and what it actually looks like. So obviously, we've all been told that the path that you should take to be successful is get a 4-year degree, make your way through, and you'll find success because that's the way it's done. And it's great marketing on behalf of the universities and the governments to sell you debt. And the reality is unless somebody's financing and paying for your college, or you're paying for your college out of pocket, I don't know that it's a great financial decision for you to take on debt for a potential job. Whereas the trades will happily pay you to come learn while paying you to then make you make more money. That's how the game works. So whenever you look at getting into the trades, I'm just going to talk about Yarbrough & Sons because obviously that's where I work. That is my pride, my joy, and my passion. I love getting to work with the people that we get to work with. And I want to highlight kind of the path that folks can take here, but also our path is not going to be all too dissimilar to any other trade that's out there. So somebody comes to us fresh out of high school, they say, you know what, I want to come work. And guess what? You're going to work. I'm sure you've seen the job postings. You know, there's a lot of them out there that are written really bad, which is basically, it's like, well, if you're ready for late nights and hard work, and some people are, but like that's a little bit extreme. And it is hard work, but it's also really rewarding work. So here's what happens. You say, all right, I want to come work for Yarbrough & Sons, be fresh out of high school, or you could just be looking to make a change. And here's where that path starts. Is one, we're going to talk about any related skills that you might have. And if your skill is, hey, I just know how to work, guess what? That's all you need. You need a good attitude and a willingness to work. So we will more than likely start you out as an HVAC apprentice of one of two paths, install or maintenance. Where you start is contingent on where we need help at that moment. So if we need help in the install department, then we'll put you over in the install department. If we need help in the maintenance department, we'll put you in the maintenance department. But the path is the same no matter what, which is you're going to start off making somewhere between, and this is in 2026, you're going to start off making between $17 and $18.50 an hour, somewhere in there. And you're also going to get benefits though. So as soon as you come work for us, you get, after 90 days, you get 2 weeks paid vacation, you get your health insurance covered, you get your dental insurance covered, and you get your vision insurance subsidized. You also get an accidental plan through AFLAC and a litany of other things like we match IRA and all sorts of stuff. So the benefits are about $6.50 an hour per employee across the board. So if it's, we'll say $17 an hour, $6.50 more than that. So basically your effective earnings is $23.50 an hour once you factor in all of the time off the insurance and all the other things that I mentioned. Now, the path to getting licensure in your state might vary to Oklahoma. So we're in Oklahoma, and the license laws in Oklahoma are what they are. Not a huge fan of them, but it takes 2 years of apprenticeship to be able to test for your journeyman's license. And to test for your journeyman's license, you got to go, we pay for it here actually. So if you come and you're an apprentice for us, we'll pay for the test that you pass. And then what that means is you go set for a test to become a journeyman. It's an open book, 70 question test that you have to make a 70% on. That's basically just code questions. It's, how many inches of fall do you need on a gas line as it's run this way? How long does a ductwork run need to be for X, Y, or Z? How close to the edge of a roof can we put a package unit? Just general safety / code stuff. And once you pass that, then we really get to the place where we can start talking about some cool things that are, available to journeyman technicians within the field. And that is a performance pay structure. So what we do at Yarbrough & Sons is it's hourly rates. So you'll have an hourly technician making anywhere between 25 and $35 an hour. And the reality is how much you make is contingent on you. So it's all performance pay. So the numbers change, the margins don't. And so when it comes to how much do we pay a technician, it's 25% of repair ticket, and then there's a 3% spiff for helping sell pieces of equipment. So you can make a huge bonus on equipment that you help sell, as well as you can make a percentage pay on your repairs that you make. On the install side of things, it's a percent of total installs. So we set it at 8% for the crew, and then that's split between the journeyman and the apprentice. And so it's all contingent on how much you're willing to do, how much work you're willing to put in. And ultimately the cap is, what is your cap? How much can you do? And so the path to success in the trades doesn't always have to be, I got to go start my own business, or I got to go off on my own and do my own thing. You can find success in a company without having to take the risk of hundreds of thousands, or if not millions of dollars, of trying to start a company and build a brand. You can find success working with and for a brand. So when you're considering all of your career options and the path that you want to take in life for your job, here's my recommendation. I think that the recommendation to follow your passion is a pot of crack. It is absolute garbage. Follow your passion is some of the worst advice that's been given to modern day students and folks alike. Because obviously, sure, it's like, yeah, do we want everything we do to be fun? Of course. However, work is still being done, and most people who are passionate about the thing that they're doing have just been doing it long enough to forget that it sucked at one point. That's the reality, because you're gonna be bad at something when you start it. You're gonna be poor at it when you first start it, and it's gonna take time to get good at it. And then guess what? Getting good at something is fun. Once you're good at it, then it's easy to become passionate about it. So don't follow your passion, follow the work. Follow the work, find somewhere that you can call home, work your way through that company, and ultimately that is gonna pay off and be its own source of basically college education, its own higher education, if you will. Because when it comes to how you can get ahead, if we're taking on debt versus getting paid to learn, let's be honest, the option today to get paid to learn is unheard of in the rest of corporate America. But the trades are thriving and doing so because they are paying people to learn their skill, learn their trade, develop professionally, and then go start making not only money for themselves, but money for the company. And I can't remember who said it, so I'm not gonna be able to attribute a quote, but if you wanna go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you got to go together. And the trades are an industry of folks who work hard together to make sure that America continues to run the way that it should, that water comes out of the faucet when it should, and not a moment sooner or a moment after, and make sure that cold air comes out of the vents when it should, and not whenever you should have heat blowing. So those are the things to consider. But ultimately, guys, if you're considering a move into the trades, I hope this provided a little bit of clarity as to what you can expect as far as job path, and ultimately what you can expect as far as job pay. Now, don't hold me to the job pay because it's 2026. We give raises all the time. Last year, we gave almost 3 raises to our entire team across the year. So we really try to stay competitive with the market. Also, we want to be top of market. So that requires a lot of back-end work on our side of things. And if you're curious about what it looks like to get into the trades, click the link in the description and it'll take you straight to our job page where you can submit a resume, submit an application, or if you just want to talk to somebody, you can shoot us an email at contactus@yarbroughsons.com and we'd be happy to answer your questions. And ultimately, I'd love to see you in the trades. Let's get after it.